And so take the issue of eugenics. I get up here on air and I read from all these textbooks and government documents how they want to poison the water and the air and how they want to sterilize us, which they are doing, and how they want to break up the families and have CPS, in the nuclear family. This is stated policy in scores of government management level manuals. And we're here now. And I tell you, folks, this is, for all of human society, this has been recognized as despotism, as the tyrant. And they may try to package it up in 21st century bows and paper and bells and whistles, but it's bad. And so it's going to take a lot of people getting hurt by the system. But if we don't speak out and point out what this really is, then as the system gets more abusive, people won't even be able to recognize that. They'll get caught up in the moment and not see the big picture. Our job is just to get folks to pull back, see the big picture, not get so caught in the everyday grind, the everyday groove of doing the same thing the same way, that they let life pass them by without ever thinking, what makes human societies operate? What makes me want the things I want? What makes me do the things I do? So it's going to take, really all I am is like a cold bucket of water on somebody to wake them up. And I'm ham-fisted half the time. I'm not perfect. But I'm jolting people out of their status quo, and that's what we all have to do. You don't have to get somebody to believe exactly what you believe or to go out and take action immediately. It's only waking them up. America and the world need to awaken. Does that answer your question, Chad in Florida?
Yes, it does. I mean, the one thing that I was pointing out was just is everybody going to pay that set all this up? I mean, I'm concerned about that,
Well, I do want to bring the globalists to justice as well, but first I'm just trying to slow down their operation. Then we can beat them, then we can bring them to justice. We'll be right back.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
I know I've covered this repeatedly on air in the last few days, but you want to know what the solution is? I'm looking at it. And you heard the last caller where they went to a big event in Louisiana with all these different cabinet heads pushing for government takeover of healthcare, grabbing more of the economy. GM, Chrysler isn't enough. The banking isn't enough. 23+ trillion in the last 9 months isn't enough for them. This is John in Tampa Bay, Florida. Activity report for your encouragement. Hello, just to let you know what is happening in Tampa Bay on July 4th holiday, I was able to get about 240 Obama deception videos at events that day, including a tea party on a major roadway. Cars at the intersection got the most DVDs. Also, a fireworks event was a hit. At the fireworks event, the City of Tampa police officer approached me. I had on my tyranny response team uniform. He saw what I was doing, and he wanted a free DVD. I thanked him for taking it and told him we were depending on him to uphold the Constitution. He said he would do his best. This last Saturday, this is a week later, the July 11th, I passed out DVDs at a busy intersection at a red light, passing them out to cars and pedestrians alike. At one point, a Hillsborough County sheriff pulled up and rolled down his window. He asked, "Is this Alex Jones movie?" "Yes. I have watched it several times." He had a copy of the DVD on his car seat and showed me. I said, "Wow." A few minutes later, he was able to pull off the road to talk. He said that his brother had sent him the DVD, and he'd heard several of Alex's movies, had several of them, and was a regular listener to the radio show via internet. I told him also that we were depending on him to uphold the Constitution. We shook hands in parting, and he said the answer to 1984 is 1776. Well, I was on cloud 9 after this. I hope you are encouraged as well. I believe we're going to win. We have to. Sincerely, John in Tampa Bay, Florida. Now, there's a video I'm going to play a little bit later in the hour titled 21st Century Traitors. It's up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Posted it this weekend. And this is police running warrantless checkpoints and arresting people that refuse to be searched. It's police telling folks they have to have a permit to protest. We've seen the videos of police coming and saying you can't stand off the side of a highway with a banner. Police saying that you can't stand out front of a mall on public property and hand out DVDs, and arresting people. Our own cameramen had Federal Reserve security guards walk half a mile down the road onto city property. There's a local World War I memorial in Kansas City, and say, we're going to arrest you if you don't leave. And my guys could have, I guess, just stayed and got arrested, but they wanted to, get back to Austin with their footage. They'd been there to interview an economist. But, the point is, that's tyranny. So that's 1984, and the answer is 1776. The police should be wanting political material. They should be involved. They should be there to guard people's First Amendment and stop other people from attacking a demonstration. But instead, as you see in my mini film, Battle for the Republic, one of the extras on Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement, has Battle for the Republic featurette with extended interviews and footage. The illegal aliens are doing a non-permanent demonstration. They're blocking traffic for hours, huge, tens of thousands, in Seattle. Some of the citizens start protesting back, and the cops come over, take the guy out of the car. He's not resisting, ram his head into the ground. Blood starts pouring out his eyebrows. The illegal aliens come over and celebrate, and the cops are high-fiving them. Yeah. Because, see, you, the illegal alien, the invader, helping to break down the United States, bankrupt the states, you were smiled on by the globalist. But this citizen that dare protest back, he's bad. That's 1984. The answer to that is 1776. But let's go ahead now and play Hillary being introduced by Richard N. Haas, head of the Council on Foreign Relations. And she says, we get a lot of advice from you guys. And she says, I'm really glad there's a D.C. Council on Foreign Relations because it's closer than New York. Now, the Council on Foreign Relations, set up in 1921 by British intelligence publicly to help take over the United States, is a Cecil Rhodes roundtable group. And Cecil Rhodes bragged about it. Carol Quigley wrote a book about it in '69, the head of Georgetown Political Science. Just 2 weeks ago, I showed you the Council on Foreign Relations website, where it said the CFR has written Obama's Comprehensive Immigration Reform Plan, and that Jeb Bush has written it, and that Obama is going to adopt it, showing that this tyranny is bipartisan, that there is no partisanship at the top. But the CFR, you have to read the CFR to see what the plan's going to say, because Congress is writing the bill now and is making it secret. But we always know what the bill is going to say, because the CFR probably writes. They write close to 100% of big policy bills. Healthcare they wrote. Amnesty the last 4 times they wrote. They slightly changed it. North American Union, SPP, they wrote. They wrote the greenhouse gas tax plan. They've written the terraforming, geoengineering chemtrail report, written 6 years ago, now being adopted word for word. What you see from them years ago, word for word, is then in the Wall Street Journal on every issue. They wrote the entire Homeland Security proposal that was then adopted word for word into law as this new giant bureaucracy above all federal agencies. And it's filled with CFR members. So it's a revolving door between government and the CFR. Here's the CFR, here's the government. They interweave themselves. This is the government. And I had to, in college, hear Rush Limbaugh say it didn't exist. And if you're a new listener, no, I'm not a Democrat or a socialist or a liberal. If you criticize Rush Limbaugh, that doesn't mean you're automatically in the liberal conservative camp. I'm mad at the leftist publications that said it didn't exist. Because when you boil down Rush Limbaugh versus a Democrat pundit, it's the same thing. Just different rhetoric, but the same end game. The issue is the CFR does exist, and they brag everywhere, that they are setting the policy and running this country. And in fact, now that I'm thinking about it,